We're going to use fractional distillation to separate liquids with different boiling points. The first thing you need to do is pour your separated liquid into the flask and using a cork, put a thermometer on top of it. You're measuring the temperature of the gas that has boiled, so it should not be measuring the liquid. Don't forget to take an initial temperature reading. The setup will look something like this. Don't forget to take temperature measurements every 30 seconds. When you're ready to switch test tubes, please be careful because the rubber tubing is hot. When you have the test tube separated, you need to cover it with parafilm to make sure that you don't get any contaminants or it doesn't have a chance to evaporate. Decanting. We did this in the solubility lab. To separate your solid from your liquids, you pour the liquid, which is on top, just off of all of the solids into a separate container, as you see here. Filtration is the other option for separating solids and liquids. To do filtration, you need to have a filter paper, and you're going to fold it something like this. Then you grab a funnel, you put the filter paper in the funnel, and you put the filter paper and the funnel into a separate beaker. You open your container, and just as you would with decanting, you pour the liquid off of the solid. You need to be careful because the liquid takes some time to filter through the paper. Please don't dump it all at once. What's different about filtering from decanting is that once the liquid is out of your original container, you can pour the solid in too. Notice this tends to take a little bit longer than decanting. After you have your substances separated, you're ready to identify. Magnetism is something you can use to identify. You'll pour your dry solids onto a piece of paper towel, flatten them out so they're all spread around. Then you wrap your magnet in paper towel. That makes collecting these solids much easier. Notice the magnetic solids will attach to the magnet while the non-magnetic solids will stay where they're at. This may take a few times, so just rewrap your magnet and put it over your solids. Malleability. There will be a station in the lab for this. Here you have three substances. The first is clearly malleable, it flattens out. The second is crushed, it's not malleable. And the third, it remains the same. It doesn't change shape, so it is not malleable. Flammability. Once you have your liquid separated and you've done fractional distillation, you can use your dropper and put a few drops of a liquid onto a watch glass. Then, using a match, you light the match and see if the liquid will light on fire, if it's flammable or not. We see this one is. And finally, reacting with acid. You take one solid, a piece or two of your solid, and you put it in a watch glass. There will be a station for this, and you can find hydrochloric acid. You put a few drops of hydrochloric acid onto your solid and you wait and see if it begins to react. If it reacts, as you may be able to see here, you'll see a few bubbles form. Bubbling is a sign that it's reacting with the acid.